Well, I certainly was not expecting two new Mythic Heroes getting released at once, but here we are. For the Mythic banner of November 2020, the 5-star focus rate starts at 8% and the non-focus rate is set to 0% permanently. That means any new 5-star heroes you earn will be one of these 12 heroes. Do note that this Mythic banner lasts for a very long time and we should get the next new heroes banner trailer before it ends, so if you're worried about your orbs, you can wait a bit to consider your options. For this particular Thanksgiving banner, we're getting two new Mythics at once, so we'll be talking about them and later we'll cover the 10 other heroes on the banner. First up, we were getting Mythic Triandra from book 4. Like Plumeria, she did not get any changes to her unique skills, so if you know what she does, then you're good. Triandra is a green flying mage and she will be a dark mythic hero that boosts speed. We saw her stats from the trailer and it appeared to be 38 HP, 37 attack, 38 speed, 16 defense, and 22 resistance. Triandra is gonna be pretty offensive for a dancer, but she will go down very easily. These stats are close to the data mine stats Triandra has for an enemy, so I would say these are probably final. For old skills, Triandra has attack and speed push 4 and aerobatics. Both of these further cement her role as a more offensive unit, and she can use aerobatics again to position to dance an ally or make an attack. Triandra's weapon is the Flower of Sorrow. It's a 4/2 tome that grants a flat +3 attack, which means she'll have 54 attack total. It then inflicts -4 defense and res on any foe in a current direction from Triandra during combat. This is a pretty simple weapon. Basically, if Triandra is in a line with an enemy, they'll get hit by -4 defense and res. Obviously, this is fine for a dancer to give some support through allies, but Triandra also benefits from that res debuff, which means even more damage for her. Since Triandra is a dark mythic hero, ideally you want to funnel the attackers into a choke point to get those debuffs going. Now, for Triandra's unique dance ability, Frightful Dream, it grants another action to an ally. It then inflicts -3 all stats and inflicts the guard status on foes in current directions of Triandra and her target ally through their next actions. Basically, this is a ruse ability tied to a dance, and that is pretty good. Because it emits from both Triandra and her ally, you can spread the debuffs in 2 columns or 2 rows, and that is why having aerobatics is nice. If you can line it up, then Flower of Sorrow's debuffs can stack on top of Frightful Dream. Now for a new inheritable skill, Triandra has Speed and Res Rain 3, inflicts Speed and Res -4 on enemies within 2 spaces during combat. More rain skills keep coming, and this one will be ideal for fast flying mages or dragons. This one should also stack with Flower of Sorrow, which means Triandra herself is always going to inflict -4 speed and -8 res on her opponent when she fights. With attack and speed push 4, that means Triandra is going to be doing quite a lot of damage for a dancer, but obviously she is super squishy. While not everyone needs their dancer to do damage, it can be nice if you run into a lower res enemy. Now let's talk about the second new mythic on this banner, Mythic Freyja. The big bad from book 4 won't be waiting in line to get released. She's just coming out now, and by now most players are well familiar with what she can do. She will be a green beast cavalry unit, and she's actually going to be a light mythic hero that boosts attack. Now for her data mine enemy stats, Freyja has 40 HP, 38 attack, 44 speed, 24 defense, and 22 resistance. Again, these stats are usually very close to the final product, although Freyja is already at Gen 5 BST, so I wouldn't be surprised if there weren't any changes here. She is super fast and would be the fastest unit in the game, but she has some really low defense and res stats for a melee unit that can be partially remedied by her weapon, but we'll get to that in a bit. For old skills, Freyja has Luna as her special. She then comes with attack and speed solo 4 and pulse smoke. The goat is going to be ultra fast and she can help get rid of pre-charged specials on the field. If you played through the story, then you guys know that Nightmare Horn is kind of a stupid weapon. It has 14 might because it's a beast weapon, and it will grant a flat +3 speed because Freyja wasn't fast enough. She then gets to counterattack from any range, aka distant counter. Then if Freyja is faster than the enemy, she reduces damage from attacks during combat and from AoE specials by percentage equal to the difference between stats times 4, max of 40%. Freyja pretty much has the accumulation of this year's hottest builds by combining distant counter with close call speed based damage reduction. Additionally, if she transforms, she inflicts -4 attack and defense and prevents a follow-up attack when initiating because that's what the Beast Cavalry transformation bonus is. Essentially, Freyja is one really annoying unit. She's super fast and has distant counter, so she can fight off anyone, plus she has 3 movement to get to her targets. The good news is, if you can match her speed or disable her damage reduction ability, she has low defense and res. Freyja is pretty much depending on reducing a lot of damage to keep on trucking. Now, Freyja does bring something new to the party. Binding Necklace is her unique B skill, and boy is this a skill. If Freyja is not adjacent to an ally, she gets 3 effects. First, she gets +2 to all stats during combat. Second, she inflicts -2 to all stats of the enemy stats. Third, if the foe has bonuses, Freyja will gain those same bonuses during combat, and she then inflicts penalties on the enemy equal to their bonuses during combat. Each stat will be calculated individually. What this means is that if the enemy has +6 field buffs to all stats, Freyja will get +6 to all stats during combat, and she then inflicts -6 to all stats on the enemy, effectively cancelling out their field buffs. This is a pretty disgusting skill, and Freyja just needs to be alone to activate it. For the first 2 parts, she basically gets a +4 stat advantage, but if the enemy brings field buffs, Freyja just outright steals them. This is kind of similar to Legion's Sneering Axe that inflicts in-combat panic, sort of. It is incredibly bad if you fight Freyja with field buffs, since you not only lose them, but she then gains them. If you had a +6 speed buff, you would lose -6 speed, and Freyja gets +6 speed, so that's a 12 speed difference suddenly. All of this will stack with Freyja's own field buffs, since all of these bonuses are applied during combat. If you like to use Legendary Azura, well then Freyja is going to also be just as happy. Overall, nothing too surprising since we've been fighting Triandra and Freyja for the past year. The biggest surprise is getting them together, and they are both green units, which is extra good if you want either of them. For Triandra, she is a more offensive dancer, which may not be the greatest thing for a defense mythic, but maybe her weapon and unique dance will be enough. As for Freyja, well, her weapon was already crazy enough, and if she is actually that fast, then that's going to be fun to deal with, especially since she can run double solo skills, and she has attack and speed solo 4 already. Her new B skill is definitely a bit scary if you run field buffs, and the first part is a simple stat boost for Freyja essentially. Considering B skill options for Cavaliers, it's kind of like running a lull skill, but obviously much better, and Freyja already has disencounter and close call, so you really can't ask for much more. I'm not sure how effective she's going to be as a light mythic hero, but I can definitely see her being a really strong unit for pretty much any standard battles, unless she's not going to be making clones, I think. Now let's talk about the 10 other heroes on this banner. In the red group we have Sothis, Legendary Eliwood, and Brave Lysithea. Blue has Legendary Azura, Legendary Tiki, and Apotheosis Anna. Green is majorly stacked with Mythic Freyja, Triandra, and Hell. Last, Colorless is also insanely good with Legendary Female Corrin, Legendary Leif, and Shinon. Unsurprisingly, this banner lasts a long time, probably because they want people to spend their Thanksgiving and Black Friday money. So, for red, we start off with Mythic Sothis. She's a fast red infantry dragon, and her Sublime Surge negates dragon effectiveness and gives her distant counter. Sothis also comes with her unique series special, which scales off of speed and also heals her a bit. She's a fun unit to use for a variety of content, and not being weak to dragon effectiveness is a nice perk. For other skills, Sothis comes with attack and speed solo 3, wrath 3, and times pulse. Pretty solid group of skills, and any of those can be great for inheriting. Next, Legendary Eliwood is a sword cavalier that offers some very fun support options. His Blazing Durandal grants the bonus doubler status to the highest attack ally, and Vision of Arcadia will grant +6 attack and defense to the highest ally as well, but you must use a dragon or beast unit on your team. Eliwood can super buff an ally from anywhere on the map, but he also has rally speed and res plus to fill in the gaps himself. For other skills, he has Death Blow 4 for maximum attack damage, and then Chill Attack for extra debuff support. Last in the group is Brave Lysithea. She's a very dangerous red infantry mage with lots of attack and speed. Dark Spikes is effective against cavalry, aka Freyja, give us some more attack and speed, and she has Desperation with a guaranteed follow-up attack, so Lysithea is a player-faced powerhouse. To help her damage output, she also has attack and speed push 4 and low speed in res 3. If you want some simple buffing skills, then Hone Speed 4 grants +7 speed to adjacent allies. Overall, red is definitely not a bad color for both units and skills, very good selection all around. Next, the blue group starts with Legendary Azura. Honestly, still probably the best dancer in the game, and a unit everyone should try to get. Her prayer wheel will spread the highest buff on an ally she dances to all of their stats, which is really good, and then Grey Waves gives infantry and flying allies 1 extra movement. If you play Aether Raids, you will see Legendary Azura everywhere, and she's a fantastic unit for PvE content herself. For her other skills, you can nab B Dual Flying 3, Aerobatics, and Attack Tactic. Next is Legendary Young Tiki. She's a blue armored dragon, and she's decently fast for a unit with a bunch of stats. Her Divine Mist grants dragon effectiveness with distant counter, and her With Everyone C skill buffs Tiki and adjacent allies with +5 defense and res, which makes her even harder to take out. To be deadly on both phases, Tiki has Fierce Breath and Bold Fighter. Both are nice for their special charging capabilities. Third in the group is the Apotheosis Anna from Awakening. This Anna is a Lance Infantry and she's very fast with a good balance of stats. Her Apotheosis Spear lets her work next to any ally within 2 spaces, and against healthy foes Anna gets +5 attack and speed. The Warping ability helps with Anna's kit since she has rarely attack and speed plus and attack and speed ruse 3. She can get around to debuff enemies, and she can also has attack and speed form to boost her own stats when near allies. For even more speed, Anna has Joint Drive speed for even more buffing. Honestly, all these skills are fantastic, so Anna is a great pickup. The blue group is definitely decent as well, although our last 2 groups are just incredibly strong themselves. The green group has our 2 new Mythic Heroes, so it's just a dream if you wanted either of them. We talked about Freyja and Triandra already, but they do have good skills inherent. Freyja has attack and speed solo 4, which is always in high demand, and she also has Pulse Smoke 3 if you wanted to stop specials. For Triandra, she has attack and speed push 4 and aerobatics, which can be both good on the right units. However, she is our first and only wielder of speed and res rain 3, so obviously that skill will be a high priority if you have a fast flying mage or a fast flying dragon. To top off this wild group, we have Hel making her reappearance. Hel is a flying axe user and she's also very fast. Hel's Reaper accelerates specials and negates flying effectiveness, so she's safer from archers. Also, if Hel fights a non-major healer enemy, she attacks the foe's res stat instead of their defense stat, and she has a miracle effect. That means if Hel has more than 1 HP, she can survive a fatal blow, which makes her an annoying unit to finish off if you try to fight her with a melee unit. Hel also comes with distant counter and guard bearing, which makes it even more likely she can stave off multiple attacks. Her inevitable death C skill is basically a super Ryan skill affecting all 4 stats. If you don't get Freyja or Triandra, at worst you get distant counter and guard bearing fodder, so this green group is pretty dang good if you want the brand new Mythics. Last, the Colorless group has legendary female Corrin. She's a colorless infantry dragon with lots of stats, and her Primordial Breath can grant +5 to all stats while accelerating specials and granting special cooldown charges on attacks. This is great because Corrin has Negating Fang, which is actually a defensive special that reduces the next hit by 30%, and after it triggers, Corrin gets a free Draconic Aura on her next counterattack. It works on melee and ranged threats, which is fine since she has distant counter, and Shield Pulse is there to pre-charge the Negating Fang while also reducing an extra 5 damage. Very interesting kit, and Corrin also has Joint Drive attack, which is another solid C skill. She's a pretty neat unit with lots of good skills too. Our second option is legendary Leif, who is a colorless cavalry archer. Leif has lots of base attack because his Meister Bogen bow always attacks twice, even on the enemy phase. He can output a lot of damage from long range, and his Northern Zeo special is like Gale Force, but Leif can only move 1 space afterwards. Still, it's a pretty powerful special and works nicely with defense smoke for more damage. As for S strength, this skill reduces Leif's cooldown by 1 and full heals him, but it only works once per fight. His rare skill would then be attack and res push 4. Legendary Leif is another one of those popular units because 3 movement plus a powered up brave bow makes for one fun combo. Last on the banner is Shinon, here to ruin everyone's fun. Shinon is a colorless infantry archer and is essentially the mega buffed version of old school Takumi. His double bow has built-in close counter, although Shinon must be by himself. He also accelerates specials and grants +5 to all stats, so it's a very nice weapon to pair with attack and defense solo 4 and low attack and speed. Shinon makes for one fun close counter unit, but he also has the new Deadeye special. This is an archer only special that boosts damage done by 2 times and disables skills that reduce damage by X%. Deadeye is a fantastic skill for trying to one-shot enemies, and Shinon can get it down to 1 cooldown every player phase thanks to Time's Pulse. Deadeye basically will destroy Freyja, who has low base defense, and it doesn't matter how much speed she has if you can pre-charge it with something like Infantry Pulse. While Shinon is a very fun unit himself, he just has insane value for skill foddering. All of his skills are worth using here, and he is the only holder of Deadeye for now. Colorless may honestly be the best group here, but since green has the 2 new mythics, I would put it slightly higher just because. As a reminder, this mythic banner lasts a long time, probably because of the Black Friday deals and events going on. You can wait to see the trailer for the upcoming new heroes banners next month if you aren't 100% sure on summoning right now, so for those of you with patience, you can get a peek at what's coming before committing. If you do want to summon right now, there are Black Friday orb packs in the shop if you want to spend money, but otherwise, maybe we could get 2 Mythic Hero battles for our 2 new Mythic units. That would be pretty nice, and hopefully that is the case instead of getting one battle map with both Triandra and Freyja. That's all I got for now. Happy Thanksgiving if you're celebrating, and I'm going to be eating a lot of turkey today. See you guys next time.